And what is going on YouTube? Hope you folks are having a fantastic day. I'm your host, Well. Today, this video is dedicated to my buyers. Now, as we all know, we're currently in the seller's market and we have a lot of buyers and the market is on fire. So today's video, once again, is be dedicated to the buyers, and we're going to be talking about some of my tips to help you guys build your credit score. Now, not just having a steady job and money, you need credit, because let's be real, most people do not have $500,000 sitting in the bank account waiting just to drop on it on a piece of property. So I thought I'll make this video. I know there's plenty of videos out there, and I am not no credit guru or debt consolidation person. I only focus on content, building a brand, and also helping people buy and sell real estate. Now, let's get into it. Number one, the first thing you want to do is do your research. I recommend Credit Karma or any third-party website. You can even use your banks you have. I know Chase, Capital One, they have like their credit monitor program that they have linked to the app, so you could look at it. And the reason why I say that is because you want to know what's on your report. A lot of people think they just owe the credit cards they have or student loans, car notes, personal loans, and that's it. You may have some outstanding balance on a credit card, let's just say, or a phone company you never paid years ago, which is impacting your credit score. So that's the first thing I say. Write down what you have as far as what you owe on your credit cards, how much all the minimum payments you have to pay per month, your monthly payments, and also when is the due date. So that's the first thing. Do your research. Like I said, use any third-party app. I use Credit Karma, been using it for years. The free version, never had an issue with it. Number two, goes back to what I said. Write down all your debt. That should be the next step. Write down all your debt. Now, I don't mean write down what you pay in rent and all that. Like, you could do that, set yourself properly up, but remember, we're talking about building credit. So write down all your debt from, let's say, February 1st all the way down to February 28th, and write down when is every credit card due. Now, the reason why I say do that is because, one, you don't want to be late on your payments. You want to be on time. That's number one always. And number two, you want to know how much you're losing a month, because remember, people now these days don't use credit cards correctly. And not even these days, I should say. It's been going on for years. People get a credit card and spend money they don't have, and we all been through that mistake. I'm not gonna act like I was perfect. At one point, I remember having American Express unlimited spending card, the Go card, and it went from 2,000 did so well. I ended up bringing it to 10,000, where I was literally working just to pay off that one credit card. I was always asking friends and family for help to pay rent and others. So we all made poor financial decisions, and that's why I wanted to really make this video, because a lot of people see all these big YouTube influencers, but some of them really may have never really experienced that, just has like a background in financing and feel that they could do it. This is coming more of a personal experience, not knocking them, because I have taken some advice from those people as well. But like I said, a lot of people prefer more personal connection than anything. So you want to do your research and write down all your stuff on what to do. Now, my next step, number three, look at your derogatory remarks. So personal experience right now, I remember owing Chase about T-Mobile about $500. I remember back in the days for a mini USB drive, which I pretty much had Wi-Fi every time I was out in the streets. And I didn't need to go to like a Starbucks or anything with that. It was with me all the time. Closed the account, never really paid it off. Long story short, it went on to my report, and I ended up calling them to find out how I could get rid of it. So there's three options you could do now if you have some derogatory marks on your report. Option A, you could dispute it. If you dispute it and everything is legit on their end, it clears off. Only thing you need to do is have them email and mail you. I recommend requesting both email and mailing you a letter stating that it is clear, and that will help boost your credit for sure. Number two, well, option B, I should say, you can actually call them or email them. I know some companies leave both an email or phone number on the remarks. You could reach out to them and see what you could do to clear that balance. So for example, in my case, it was $500. They told me at that time I only had to pay $300 and they'll clear it out of my account. But the stipulation to that was if they do that, and if I ever decide to go back to T-Mobile at that time, I will have to pay the remaining balance of $200 from that $500, since I'm making amends meet in the middle with them, $300 instead of $5. That $200 I will have to pay first before reopening it. Now, I don't know if that policy has changed, probably not. But like I said, this was years ago, early beginning 2000s. I want to say 2010, around there, or 5. So probably did change, but that's something you guys want to just take in consideration as far as doing that, just to make amends meet with some of these credit bureaus you have stuff under. Or option number 3, or C, is just pay it off fully. Honestly, if it's just, if you have the money paid off fully, obviously I say be a little smart, like try to see if you can make amends meet. But they say no, you can't. Not saying all companies will allow it. Then you just pay it off fully. So that's the first thing I recommend doing. Now, if you have something that's, let's say, $20,000, $30,000 up, then that's a little different. If this is more catered to people who have something around $500 to $1,000 that they could kind of work with. I don't expect you guys to go crazy. For example, let's say you have student loans that you pay for a year and it falls under that mark. Like, it's really not going to do a lot of impact on your credit score compared to some that's $500 that could clear it out, composed to some that's like $10,000, $20,000. So just be mindful of that. Number 4, your credit usage. You want to look at your credit usage now. I use the Snowball Effect. That has helped me out a lot. And if you don't know the Snowball Effect, I'm going to give you a perfect example how this method can help you out with improving your credit, knocking your debt, and getting you on the right path to building your credit up. So the Snowball Effect. Let's say you have 3 credit cards: Chase, TD, and Bank of America. You owe $500 on the 1st of January for Chase. TD, you owe $1,000 on the 15th of January, and Bank of America, you owe $2,000 on that credit card. The end of the month of January, the 30th, let's say. Your monthly payments are $50 a month. What you want to do is do this: pay your minimum balance on all 3, but you want to focus on the small one. So how you're gonna work it up is work from the smallest all the way, working its way up to the highest. So let's say, like, for example, $500, $1,000, $2,000. Those are your 3 credit card debt. They all maxed out. So you want to pay your minimum balance for the other 2. For the Chase, you're going to pay your minimum balance, but you're going to end up having to put more money down on it. So let's say if you have a job that pays you weekly or bi-weekly and you make enough money to add a little bit more money, I recommend doing that. My rule of thumb I tell people is try to add $200 per month. Now let's say if you're somebody that lives check to check and you're basically breaking even and you don't really have money to do that, work extra hours or get a second part-time job just to focus on that. Once you do that, you can quit the part-time job after you clear your debt. That's the best recommendation I do between derogatory marks clearing and credit card usage to help clear your credit, like as far as your current debt, I should say, because now these days people don't use credit cards wisely. Everybody just opens up a credit card with like a crazy 25% rate, and it really gives you no benefits. I stop applying for credit cards that don't give me benefits. I apply for credit cards, for example, like my recent credit card I have is my LLC. I have it with American Express, and I have the Delta credit card. So now every business expense and personal expense as well, I use that card and I accumulate points. Later down in the future, if I ever want to take a vacation, I don't have to pay out of pocket. Obviously, you have to pay taxes, but it's way less than spending, let's say, $1,000 for a ticket compared to I have points because I use it daily. So get cards with benefits, something for airline, hotel, cashback, not that 0.5% or 1%. Try to find something with at least 2 to 3% for all spending, and not just you spend $1,000 here in Walmart for 3 months and then you gotta spend another $1,000 in gas. Like, try to find stuff that actually gives you benefits. That's how you work the system to your favor, and you want to pay it off fully. Don't wait. Don't believe all this. Like, if you know yourself, if you're not somebody who can't really, how can I say, it's like if you feel like you're not that well managed with your money, just pay it off clearly. Just pay off the balance fully. I mean, and just that's it. Just use it wisely. I always tell people. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get to that point on the last tip, but just do that. Do the Snowball Effect. Attack one credit card as much money as you can. Work extra. or get a second job that's going to help allow you to put $200 extra a month, or 100. I say 2 at least at a nice area, $50 a week or $100 every other week. I think that is doable for most people, especially now these days. Jobs are hiring like $20 an hour just to clean a car, because a lot of jobs are being hurt. They're trying to give people a lot of incentives too. Use that to your advantage. So that's another way of clearing up your credit quick and helping you out by doing the snowball effect. My 5th tip I recommend is open up a secure credit card. Now, pretty much what a secure credit card is, the best way I can explain it is Google it. A lot of people still don't know what secure credit card is. Google it. Pretty much what you do is take your personal money. So for me, perfect example is when I opened up my Discover credit card last year, I put $200 down in the account and they sent me a card. I used it for about 6 to 8 months, and then they sent me a letter saying I did so well with my account that they're going to send me back the $200 in the check, and they're going to send me a credit card now. So that debit/credit card converts automatically into a credit card at that point. And what you get is an increase, which most of the time that happens, they'll give you an increase plus the amount of money you started. So in my case, when I opened my Discover, I initially put $200. When they sent it back, they left the $200 in but gave me $1,000. So now that credit card became $1,200 a month I had on that card as my limit. So that's another way of building credit. A secure credit card. It's a lot of companies do it. I know Discover does it. I did it with Capital One. I did it with Wells Fargo, I believe, does it. And there's probably a few others, maybe Chase, TD Bank. I'm not too sure about those, but I know those 3 for sure. Wells Fargo, Discover, Capital One. They do have secure credit cards that you can look into to help get more credit and build your credit up. And then for my final tip, number 6, build your current credit cards up. So let's say, for example, you're somebody who has 4 credit cards. You're not in debt, but you don't really have that much credit. Let's say all your credits are, or your 4 credit cards are $500, which is really nothing. So here's what I recommend. You had a 620 credit score, let's just say it was a 650, and you want a nice house, and you know to have a nice house like $800K, it requires you to have a 750 credit score. So your next move is to figure out how you get from 650 to 750. If you have 4 credit cards and they all $500 each, and they all paid off every month, and nothing has happened, like no credit increase, what I best recommend you doing is utilizing those credit cards, because there's a lot of people who have credit cards for whatever reason and don't use them. You need to utilize your credit cards on a constant basis within a 6 to 8 month range. Studies have shown for them to give you an increase, or when you request an increase, they will approve it right away. So here's what I recommend. Use 1 credit card for gas. Everybody needs gas every week, so use that to advantage. The average person, especially with gas is priced now these days, and a lot of people driving, especially in South Florida, I fill up my car at least 2 times a week, maybe even 3 times a week if I'm showing a lot of clients around, whether it's a buyer or trying to circle prospect for new listings. Like I utilize gas a lot. I take it to my advantage. Like, you gotta spend money to make money. That's how I see it. So you want to use 1 credit card for that. So here's what I recommend. If you have 4 credit cards, use 1 for gas. Like I said, the average person fills their gas probably 1 to 2 a week. Second credit card, use 1 for food. Everybody does food shopping every week, or somewhat. A big food shopping one week, then a small food shopping, then vice versa. So now you have 2. 3, if you're somebody that go out a lot and drink Starbucks every day, let's just say, or you eat out once in a while, use that for fun. Like, use that for spending money. A lot of people say, no, don't do that. It's a bad way. You're going to use a debit card to swipe, which makes no sense. Use a credit card. Use that fun money credit card, I call it, to swipe for whatever, and then just pay it off the next day. Once when it goes into your account, it reflects on your statement, you want to pay it off. That's like the smartest way to do, because once again, for somebody like me who has credit cards that give me points, whether it's cashback, hotel, or airfare, I'm going to use a debit card that gives me nothing compared to a credit card where I could swipe, I get cashback, gas, hotel. I'm going to pay it off regardless. So what is the difference? So use that for that. And then the 4th one, honestly, you can mix it between other ones too. You could do the fourth one like 1 week gas, 1 week food, 1 week play money. That way it doesn't close, because remember, you don't want your credit cards to close because that could impact your credit score. Now, obviously, once again, guys, these are just my 6 tips that has helped me out and what I've learned from other people and took in with a grain of salt what I wanted to do. There are plenty of ways out there. People could tell you you could pay, you could do a debt consolidation, which I don't recommend, first off, because that kind of hurt my credit history a lot. I would have had like almost 10 years worth of credit history, or maybe more. Now I'm down to like 3 or 4, I'm gonna say. So I don't recommend doing that. But to each his own. I get it. If you're in a tight jam and you see something like that could benefit you, and you know you're not ready to buy and you're not planning to buy like 4 to 5 years from now, then do it. Do I recommend if you plan to buy this year? Absolutely not, because that could hurt you a lot. That's one thing I will say. And 2, I know a lot of people say you could be an authorized user under somebody. I don't really know too much about that, so do some research when it comes to that. That's another way from what I've seen and heard though. And then 3, I know they have these debt creditor people that can help fix your credit. And if you're gonna spend $300 a month and could do it in like 3 to 6 months compared to doing it in 2 years on your own, I'm not against it. I always support people. I know people that actually do it. I just feel like you could do it yourself. There's no need to pay anybody. If you're gonna pay somebody $300-$400 a month, why not put that towards a credit card? I just think that would make more logical sense at the end of the day. But if you're somebody who's anxious, tired renting, and really want to buy this year and take advantage of the market, then why not? Then do it. If it works for you financially and you get testimonials and do your background check on them and your research and everything pans out, then guys, just go for it. Like, at the end of the day, like I said, you gotta spend money sometimes to make money. Nothing in life comes easy without hard work. If you're somebody who's so busy, you feel like you can't do it or it's too much for you, then just pay somebody. There's really nothing wrong with that. But hope this video helps you guys out. If you have any questions or ways that you had done to help build your credit, leave in the comment section below. Whoever sees this video will probably utilize it themselves, and also they may use some of my tips and some of your tips. And also, I'm curious to see what you guys have done. For me personally, the snowball effect is the best way I go for building to knocking off my credit. That helped me out so many times. I remember at one point I was at 700, went down to 580, and now I'm back around to around 740, 750, which I'm proud to say I did with the snowball effect, thanks to Dave Ramsey method on that, clearing out some of those remarks that I had that I know I didn't open up certain accounts back in the days, and some I did. And yeah, secure credit cards, that was just stuff that helped me out. Anyways, guys, see you guys in the next video. If you like what you see, like, subscribe, comment below. I'll see you next one. Peace out.